EMENA is the Endangered Archaeology of the Middle East and North Africa project. So we use satellite imaging to survey and monitor heritage across the Middle East and North Africa. But there was one problem that kind of an archaic law in the US, the commercial availability of satellite imaging over Israel and Palestine. If you'd looked at Google Earth, you would have seen that the resolution of any imagery over that region is of a much lower resolution to everywhere else, and that made it very difficult for us to identify both heritage sites but also the damage issues impacting on them. So me and my late colleague Andrea Zerbini identified a reform clause within this that hadn't been acted upon. So we should have seen those restrictions largely disappear back in 2011, 2012, but the US regulator hadn't touched on that, and so we drove that forward. So we wrote a paper that was really not about archaeology at all. So we kind of had to work in the kind of theatre of space law and things like this, things that I never thought I'd find myself researching. And although there was a lot of resistance, particularly with the US regulator to reform, in June 2020 those restrictions were changed, and so that has an impact on our work and the training we do with our Palestinian colleagues, but it also has a huge impact on everyone who uses satellite imaging. So we're talking about particularly environmental monitoring, but also human rights monitoring, access to this imagery, and particularly the free access that people get through systems like Google Earth. It's kind of critical in terms of bringing together evidence bases for both reporting but for also decisions made in the future.